Guys, TUNG 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 Sahur is chasing me. Leave a like and comment to save me. Hey everyone, it's me, Sheriff Labrador. Today we're going to face various challenges and parkour courses to save everyone from TUNG TUNG Sahur, the terrifying character from Italian memes who has taken over the people and holds them in fear. Dobie, say hi.
Hi friends, it's me, Dobie. And just like Labrador said, today we're going through trials to protect people from TUNG TUNG Sahur. It won't be an easy mission, but I'm sure we'll succeed. Right, Labrador?
The first challenge is parkour over metal pipes that lead into a ventilation shaft. Dobie, are you ready?
Yes, Labrador, that was way too easy. Let's move on to the next one.
In the second challenge, we have to press a button to make platforms appear. We'll have to jump across them without falling.
Oh, Labrador, so far these challenges are a piece of cake. I wonder what's coming next.
In the third challenge, we must run away from TUNG TUNG Sahur, who really wants to catch us to stop us from saving everyone and make us fail the mission. But we never give up. We'll press the button to open the passage, otherwise the vent won't open, and Sahur will catch us.
Run, Labrador, he's gaining on us.
Shoo, Dobie, that was intense, but we managed to escape. He's a serious threat.
I agree, Labrador, but we're not relaxing yet. Let's keep going.
After escaping through the vent, we need to open the bathroom stalls and find the right one with a shovel inside. Then we'll dig our way down to the next challenge.
This next challenge is parkour over a giant pit filled with boiling lava. Just don't fall in.
Shoo! We made it, Dobie. Now we have to dodge a giant rolling ball coming straight at us. Almost there. And yes, we passed this level.
Oh no, Labrador! Sahur's back and he wants to catch us again. If we don't turn the wheel to open the door, he'll get us.
Don't worry, Dobie. We can escape from him.
Yes, Labrador. Just a little more. And we've successfully escaped Sahur and moved on to the next level.
In the next challenge, we climb a ladder and jump across platforms to reach the next level.
We've climbed up and now need to drink a speed boost potion to complete the parkour. If we don't, we'll fall into a huge pit and fail the mission.
Dobie, this one's easy. Nothing to worry about.
Whew, we did it. On to the next challenge.
Now we must enter a secret room and grab a ladder, then place it to open a ventilation shaft, climb up, and escape.
In the next trial, we have to keep jumping to avoid being blown into the abyss by a giant fan. The most dangerous thing is to stop jumping.
After that, we need to jump across pipes upwards and then shut the ventilation systems in the correct order to stop the poisonous gas streams. They're very dangerous.
Then we enter the ventilation shaft to move on to the next level.
In the next challenge, we have to parkour over a void. The most important thing is not to...
After that, we need to enter the ventilation shaft to reach the next level.
This time we must jump across a bottomless pit. The most important thing is not to fall. If we do, we'll lose and never save anyone. But remember, never give up, and we'll succeed.
Moving to the next level, we have to defeat TUNG TUNG Sahur with a bazooka. First shot, second, third, fourth, fifth, and we've defeated him. Now we can head to the next challenge.
In the next trial, we fall from a huge height and land on a platform. Then, we have to climb up a ladder.
In this challenge, we must dodge lasers. The most important thing is not to get hit.
On the next level, we're facing another parkour challenge. At first glance, it's not clear how to get across, but if we think for a second, we'll notice some big metal pallets above. We can use them to beat this level.
And the final challenge, we must defeat the ultimate boss, TUNG 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 Sahur. This will be the hardest battle yet. But Labrador, we can do it, right? We need to shoot his mechanical arms. They're firing bursts of bullets from machine guns.
Whew, we actually did it. That was one tough battle. Thanks for watching, friends. Be sure to leave a like and drop a comment.
Guys, if you watched the video all the way to this point, type the secret word sheriffs in the comments so we know you love our videos.
See you next time. Hey everyone, it's me, Sheriff Labrador. Today we're going to face various challenges and parkour courses to save everyone from TUNG TUNG Sahur, the terrifying character from Italian memes who has taken over the people and holds them in fear. Dobie, say hi.
Hi friends, it's me, Dobie. And just like Labrador said, today we're going through trials to protect people from TUNG TUNG Sahur. It won't be an easy mission, but I'm sure we'll succeed. Right, Labrador?
The first challenge is parkour over metal pipes that lead into a ventilation shaft. Dobie, are you ready?
Yes, Labrador, that was way too easy. Let's move on to the next one.
In the second challenge, we have to press a button to make platforms appear. We'll have to jump across them without falling.
Oh, Labrador, so far these challenges are a piece of cake. I wonder what's coming next.
In the third challenge, we must run away from TUNG TUNG SAHUR, who really wants to catch us to stop us from saving everyone and make us fail the mission. But we never give up. We'll press the button to open the passage, otherwise the vent won't open, and Sahur will catch us.
Run, Labrador, he's gaining on us.
Shoo, Dobie, that was intense, but we managed to escape. He's a serious threat.
I agree, Labrador, but we're not relaxing yet. Let's keep going.
After escaping through the vent, we need to open the bathroom stalls and find the right one with a shovel inside. Then we'll dig our way down to the next challenge.
This next challenge is parkour over a giant pit filled with boiling lava. Just don't fall in.
Shoo! We made it, Dobie. Now we have to dodge a giant rolling ball coming straight at us. Almost there. And yes, we passed this level.
Oh no, Labrador! Sahur's back and he wants to catch us again. If we don't turn the wheel to open the door, he'll get us.
Don't worry, Dobie. We can escape from him.
Yes, Labrador. Just a little more. And we've successfully escaped Sahur and moved on to the next level.
In the next challenge, we climb a ladder and jump across platforms to reach the next level.
We've climbed up and now need to drink a speed boost potion to complete the parkour. If we don't, we'll fall into a huge pit and fail the mission.
Dobie, this one's easy. Nothing to worry about.
Whew, we did it. On to the next challenge.
Now we must enter a secret room and grab a ladder, then place it to open a ventilation shaft, climb up, and escape.
In the next trial, we have to keep jumping to avoid being blown into the abyss by a giant fan. The most dangerous thing is to stop jumping.
After that, we need to jump across pipes upwards and then shut the ventilation systems in the correct order to stop the poisonous gas streams. They're very dangerous.
Then we enter the ventilation shaft to move on to the next level.
In the next challenge, we have to parkour over a void. The most important thing is not to...
After that, we need to enter the ventilation shaft to reach the next level.
This time we must jump across a bottomless pit. The most important thing is not to fall. If we do, we'll lose and never save anyone. But remember, never give up, and we'll succeed.
Moving to the next level, we have to defeat TUNG TUNG SAHUR with a bazooka. First shot, second, third, fourth, fifth, and we've defeated him. Now we can head to the next challenge.
In the next trial, we fall from a huge height and land on a platform. Then, we have to climb up a ladder.
In this challenge, we must dodge lasers. The most important thing is not to get hit.
On the next level, we're facing another parkour challenge. At first glance, it's not clear how to get across, but if we think for a second, we'll notice some big metal pallets above. We can use them to beat this level.
And the final challenge, we must defeat the ultimate boss, TUNG 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 SAHUR. This will be the hardest battle yet. But Labrador, we can do it, right? We need to shoot his mechanical arms. They're firing bursts of bullets from machine guns.
Hoo! We actually did it! That was one tough battle. Thanks for watching, friends. Be sure to leave a like and drop a comment.
Guys, if you watched the video all the way to this point, type the secret word, sheriffs, in the comments, so we know you love our videos.
See you next time! In the second challenge, we have to press a button to make platforms appear. We'll have to jump across them without falling.
Oh, Labrador, so far these challenges are a piece of cake. I wonder what's coming next.
In the third challenge, we must run away from TUNG TUNG SAHUR, who really wants to catch us to stop us from saving everyone and make us fail the mission. But we never give up. We'll press the button to open the passage, otherwise the vent won't open, and Sahur will catch us.
Run, Labrador, he's gaining on us.
Shoo, Dobie, that was intense, but we managed to escape. He's a serious threat.
I agree, Labrador, but we're not relaxing yet. Let's keep going.
After escaping through the vent, we need to open the bathroom stalls and find the right one with a shovel inside. Then we'll dig our way down to the next challenge.
This next challenge is parkour over a giant pit filled with boiling lava. Just don't fall in.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sheriff Labrador. Today we're going to face various challenges and parkour courses to save everyone from TUNG TUNG SAHUR, the terrifying character from Italian memes who has taken over the people and holds them in fear. Dobie, say hi.
Hi friends, it's me, Dobie. And just like Labrador said, today we're going through trials to protect people from TUNG TUNG SAHUR. It won't be an easy mission, but I'm sure we'll succeed. Right, Labrador?
The first challenge is parkour over metal pipes that lead into a ventilation shaft. Dobie, are you ready?
Yes, Labrador, that was way too easy. Let's move on to the next one.
In the second challenge, we have to press a button to make platforms appear. We'll have to jump across them without falling.
Oh, Labrador, so far these challenges are a piece of cake. I wonder what's coming next.
In the third challenge, we must run away from TUNG TUNG SAHUR, who really wants to catch us to stop us from saving it. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Our battle will be legendary. This day started like any other. The city was waking up, and Dobie and I were going through the morning reports. But soon, the peace was broken by a call. The dispatcher's voice was tense. There were reports of strange events at the central hospital. Patients were disappearing. Nurses spoke of a mysterious sheriff who had taken control of the institution. And the strangest part, this sheriff looked exactly like me. Dobie and I exchanged glances. This couldn't be a coincidence. I had heard stories about doppelgangers, but I never thought I would encounter one myself. We got into the car and headed to the hospital.
When we arrived, the hospital looked deserted. The large glass doors were locked, and behind them, we could only see dim, flickering lights. No patients, no staff, as if the whole place had been abandoned. Posters with Labrador's face hung on the walls, but something was off about them. His eyes looked cold, and his smile menacing. We cautiously stepped inside. The hallways were dark, the lights flickered, and the air smelled of chemicals. Cameras were everywhere, watching our every move. We had to figure out what was going on.
We moved forward carefully, scanning our surroundings. I could feel that we were being watched. Suddenly, a nurse appeared from around the corner. He looked terrified and whispered that we had to leave while we still could. According to him, the other sheriff had locked all the patients and staff in the basement and had taken over the main office. This was a challenge we couldn't ignore. We headed for the staircase leading down, but as soon as we opened the door, the sound of footsteps filled the corridor. Several guards in black uniforms with patches bearing my own emblem emerged from the shadows. They didn't look friendly.
We knew there would be no talking our way out of this. The guards lunged at us, but we were ready. Labrador threw his baton at one of them, while I used my strength to shove another straight into the wall. The rest hesitated, giving us the chance to break through to the basement. We rushed down the narrow stairs. The air grew heavier. It smelled of age and metal. Rusty pipes lined the walls. Water dripped from the ceiling. Soon, we reached a locked door. Behind it, we heard muffled voices. People were inside.
The door was secured with a massive lock. I glanced around and spotted a toolbox. Grabbing a crowbar, I swung hard at the lock. It gave way with a screech. The door burst open, revealing dozens of frightened but unharmed patients and doctors. They ran toward us, begging to be saved from the false sheriff. I told them to stay put until we dealt with the main threat. We had to find my double.
We climbed to the top floor, where the main office was located. The door was slightly ajar, and we stepped inside. There, in the center of the spacious office, stood my partner's evil twin. He looked exactly like Labrador, except for his eyes. They were dark, lifeless, like empty voids. A strange badge hung from his chest, glowing with a faint red light. He looked at us and smiled. We realized this wasn't just an imposter. This was something inhuman. He didn't speak, but his gaze made it clear he wouldn't let us leave so easily.
He attacked. I barely managed to dodge as his paw slammed into the desk, leaving a deep dent. This me was stronger than any ordinary beast. Dobie tried to sneak up behind him, but with a single motion, the doppelganger flung him aside. I had to find a way to stop him. I noticed that the badge on his chest glowed brighter whenever he attacked. Maybe that was the source of his power.
I understood what Labrador was thinking. We had to remove that badge. I lunged forward, pretending to go for his face, while Labrador leaped from above, grabbed the badge, and yanked it with all his strength. A dull crack echoed through the room. The false sheriff froze. Then his body began to tremble. Awareness flickered in his eyes before he simply dissolved into the air, leaving behind only the metallic badge, now dull and lifeless.
As soon as he vanished, the hospital began to change. The lights brightened, the cameras stopped tracking us, and the eerie silence was replaced by the sounds of voices. We knew the spell or technology that kept people in fear had been broken. Doctors and patients emerged from the basement, cautiously looking around. They were free. We knew it was over.
Once everything calmed down, we stepped outside. The sky was already lightening. Night was over. I looked at Labrador and smirked. We had seen a lot, but nothing like this before. But before we could get into the car, A new call came in. The dispatcher reported strange occurrences happening in the city again. We exchanged glances and started the engine.
The corridor trembled with each impact. Every door concealed the unknown, and we had no idea where the next attack would come from. The lights flickered, strange noises echoed from the ventilation shafts, and the scent of antiseptic mixed with something far more sinister. I could feel it. My doppelganger was toying with us, luring us into a trap. We reached the operating room. The massive metal doors slid open slowly, revealing a chamber filled with surgical instruments hanging from the ceiling and tables draped in dusty sheets. And in the center of it all, he stood, my dark reflection, wearing a twisted grin and staring with cold, empty eyes. He didn't attack immediately. He was waiting, savoring our hesitation. That's when I realized this wasn't just a copy. He could read my thoughts, anticipate my every move. This was me, stripped of conscience, devoid of principles, without mercy.
I saw Labrador freeze for a moment, assessing the situation. The double looked just like him, but something was deeply wrong. He moved like a shadow, his presence felt unnatural, and when he spoke, his voice seemed to pierce through the air itself. And then he struck. His movements were lightning fast, his attacks precise. I tried to intervene, but he dodged effortlessly, predicting my every action. It felt like a nightmare, the kind where your enemy is always faster, always ahead. We tried every technique we knew, but he countered them with ease, as if he had already seen the battle play out in his mind. The only way to win was to outsmart him, to make him believe in a false move.
I feigned exhaustion, letting my body slump as if I were giving up. For just 1 second, he smirked. And that was all we needed. At that moment, Dobie lunged forward, grabbing a surgical lamp and blasting him with blinding light. My double flinched, his expression shifting from arrogance to pure terror. That was my chance. I struck hard, and he staggered back, his eyes widening as he realized he had lost. A horrible screech filled the room as his body began to dissolve, leaving only a flickering outline of his former self. The hospital trembled as if reality itself was collapsing. We barely made it outside before the entire building shuddered and started to fade away. It had all been an illusion, a construct of darkness, but now it was gone.
When it was over, I turned to look at Labrador. He was exhausted, but victorious. We had won. Another day, another rescue. But as we walked away, a chill crept up my spine. For a split second, in the reflection of the hospital's glass doors, I swore I saw him.
As we stepped outside, the hospital behind us began to vanish, dissolving like mist into the night air. It felt like waking from a nightmare that had finally ended. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Dobie patted me on the shoulder, a silent confirmation that we had done everything we could. But something gnawed at me. I knew my double was gone, but was he truly gone? His smirk, his movements, they had been too real to simply disappear. Questions swirled in my mind, but for now, there were no answers.
I glanced around. The city carried on as usual, unaware that just moments ago, we had battled an entity that could have destroyed not only us, but the very fabric of reality itself. I wanted to say something reassuring, but before I could, the dispatcher's voice crackled over the radio. Another call, another nightmare. I sighed, exchanging a knowing look with Labrador. Looked like rest wasn't in our near future. We jumped into the car and headed toward the next anomaly.
I drove through the dark city streets, but my thoughts kept drifting back to the hospital. In the rearview mirror, for a brief moment, I saw a familiar face. My face, but with that same sinister smirk. I blinked quickly, and it disappeared. I wasn't sure if it was just exhaustion or something more. Maybe my double hadn't disappeared completely. Maybe he was just lying in wait, biding his time to return.
When we arrived at the next call, the dark building of the city library loomed before us, shrouded in thick fog.
Hello friends, it's me, Sheriff Labrador, and today we have a special episode for you.
Hi everyone! Yes, Sheriff Labrador, I'm already excited.
Together with my loyal partner, Sheriff Dobie, we're going to tell you about the most beautiful and challenging mode in Roblox, Escape the Carnival of Horrors Obby. This mode is simply incredible.
You find yourself in a mysterious and eerie carnival, full of dangers and unexpected twists.
Let's start from the beginning. As soon as you enter the game, you're greeted by a creepy carnival, dimly lit by lanterns. Dangerous traps and evil ghost clowns patrolling the area are scattered everywhere. Your task is to avoid them at all costs.
Exactly! Do you see that red balloon? We need to follow it. In the first stage, you have to be very careful and quick to avoid getting caught by the clowns. I recommend watching your steps closely to avoid traps.
Yes, and that's just the beginning. This clown world is huge, and I think we'll be fighting this clown today. By the way, do you know the name of this clown? Write it in the comments, and whoever guesses correctly will get a heart from us on their comment.
But inside, it's full of dangerous mechanisms. You must be very attentive and keep moving to avoid getting caught in the traps.
We need to get through these rusty pipes. The main thing is not to touch the fire or fall down. We can't forget about the final part, escaping through the horror ride. This is the most challenging part, where you'll have to use all your skills and agility to reach the exit.
Friends, this mode is truly amazing. It's not only difficult, but incredibly beautiful. We are sure you'll love it. Right now, we are in the heart of the Carnival of Horrors, in the clown's house. Just look at this grim place. We need to parkour through old, smelly pipes with a bottomless pit below us.
Yes, it's really scary. The smelly pipes are not only a test of our agility, but also a real endurance test. The smell is disgusting, but we need to focus and move forward.
Watch your step, Sheriff Labrador. If we slip, we'll fall into that bottomless pit. We must be very careful and watch each step. Let's move slowly and confidently.
Good plan, Sheriff Dobie. Do you see that narrow pipe ahead? We need to jump onto it and then move along the wall. The main thing is not to rush and keep our balance.
Great, I'm ready. Let's go, Labrador. You first. I'll cover you. This is probably one of the most difficult stages in this mode, but we'll manage, right?
Of course, Dobie. We're a team. All right, one jump, then another. Carefully, done. Now it's your turn, Dobie.
Got it. I'm coming. One jump, another. Yes, I did it. Now we need to walk along this narrow pipe. It's slippery, so hold on tight.
Of course, Dobie. We're a team. All right, one jump, then another. Carefully, done. Now it's your turn, Dobie.
Yes, it's a real nightmare. These saws spin so fast that one mistake can cost us our lives. We need to move very carefully and precisely calculate our actions.
Look, Dobie, the saws move in a specific pattern. If you watch closely, you can catch the moment when they stop for a split second. That's when we need to dash through.
I made it too. Can you see me? Wow! Look at this beautiful amusement park. Ferris wheel, roller coasters, and much more.
Now we're escaping from the scariest clown in this carnival. He wants to turn us into his dolls, and we urgently need to find a way to escape. Look ahead. There's a Ferris wheel. It's our chance to get to the top.
The clown is still after us. Let's go, Labrador. We can do this.
Yes, we're at the top. What a view! You can see the whole carnival from here. The clown won't catch us here.
Whew, that was intense. But we did it, Labrador. Now we're safe.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us likes. It's the best gift you can give us. Our animal town has always been a peaceful place, but recently we were shaken by a story connected to the amusement park. The park has always been a popular spot for family outings. However, with the arrival of a new clown, strange incidents began happening. He appeared friendly, but there was always something unusual around him. The townspeople began to complain about odd feelings and missing items. Dobie and I decided to get to the bottom of this.
From the very beginning, we noticed that the clown attracted children, but the parents looked at him with concern. We started the investigation trying to understand what was going on. In the park, we discovered strange traces and heard stories about how the clown was leading children in unknown directions. In the evening, the park closed, but some children didn't return home. Labrador and I decided to stay in the park after closing time to see what was happening.
When it got dark, the park turned into a place of shadows and suspicious sounds. We hid behind carousels and rides, observing what was going on. Soon, we saw the clown leading a group of children. They seemed hypnotized, following him without a single word. We cautiously followed them until they reached an old, abandoned tent that hadn't been used in a long time.
The tent was locked, but somehow the clown managed to open it. We carefully approached, trying not to give ourselves away. When we peeked inside, we saw a stage with bright lights. The clown started his performance, but it wasn't an ordinary show. He used strange tricks and magical illusions that seemed to mesmerize the children. We realized that the clown was using some dark magic to control them.
We decided to act quickly. I distracted the clown, pretending I wanted to see the show up close, while Dobie took the children out of the tent. The clown, noticing our presence, became angry. His face twisted into a malicious grimace, and he tried to stop us. But we were already prepared and knew what to do. We used flashlights to blind him and escorted the children to the park's exit.
We led the children to a safe place and called for backup. The clown tried to escape, but he didn't get far. When our colleagues arrived, we arrested him and started the investigation. It turned out that this clown was a former magician who had lost his job and decided to use his skills for sinister purposes. Thanks to our efforts, the park became a safe place for family outings again. Labrador and I returned to the station, knowing that we had done an important job. We told the townspeople this story so they would know that even in the safest place, dangers can be hiding. But together, we can overcome any difficulties and protect our town.
Recently, a new clown appeared in our town. He was so funny that he immediately became popular. Everywhere he went, people laughed until they cried. He performed street shows, visited people's homes, and entertained both children and adults. Everything seemed fine, but something wasn't right. Dobie and I started noticing that after the clown's visits, people's belongings went missing. At first, it was small things, but each day the number of disappearances grew. We decided to take control of the situation and figure out what was happening.
We began to keep an eye on this clown, but he was so sneaky that none of our observers could catch him in the act. He would go into homes, show his tricks, and everyone seemed to forget what had happened. But as soon as the clown left, valuable items were always missing, from watches to jewelry. Sheriff Labrador suggested we find out what was going on, and soon we were in the middle of an investigation. We decided to set up a trap.
One night, Dobie and I decided to keep an eye on the clown in person. We put on masks and went into one of the houses where the clown frequently showed up. When he arrived, we began to watch his actions closely. At first, everything went as usual. He entertained everyone with his jokes and tricks. But suddenly, during one of his tricks, we noticed his hand quickly slip behind his back and disappear into the host's pocket.
That was the moment of truth. Labrador and I realized that this wasn't just a coincidence. We started watching his hands, and soon we discovered that he was really stealing things while everyone was laughing or distracted by his show. He skillfully used his tricks to secretly take small valuables. We decided to catch him red-handed.
When the clown left, we immediately went to the house to check what had gone missing. And, as strange as it seemed, valuable items had indeed disappeared. We gathered our strength and decided to act. The next day, we met with the clown again, but this time, he didn't know we were preparing to expose him. When he started his new trick, we quietly surrounded him.
The clown tried to avoid us, but we already knew everything. He realized his trick had been uncovered and tried to escape. But Labrador was faster. We caught him, and it turned out that this clown was a master of pickpocketing, using his popularity to steal from trusting townspeople. After we arrested him, it was revealed that he was a thief, hiding behind the mask of a cheerful clown. But now, thanks to us, he would no longer be able to cause trouble in our town.
That's how we exposed this funny clown. He thought he could trick us, but it didn't work out that way. This time, the jokes were over. And now all the town's residents know that we don't joke with anyone who tries to deceive them. Dobie and I are back to patrolling, knowing that even the most amusing incidents can hide dangerous secrets.
When we returned to the station, we told the townspeople how important it is to stay vigilant, even when it seems like everything around is 100% safe. The clown thought his tricks would go on forever, but it turned out differently. Labrador and I are proud that we acted in time, and now the townspeople can laugh again without fear.
Officer Dobie and I are on the roller coaster, and right before us stands a massive carnival city. We're not just here for fun. We're keeping everything under control. But right in front of us, there's that terrifying clown.
Well, friends, the time has come to say goodbye. We hope you enjoyed riding with us on these roller coasters, following our adventures, and of course, staying alert. Until next time, and may your carnivals always be filled with joy, not threats.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to keep an eye on your surroundings, because even in the brightest places, mysteries can be hiding. Guys, help me out. Smash that like button and leave a comment on the video. Hey everyone, it's me, Sheriff Labrador. Today we're going to face different challenges and parkour levels to save people from Evil Steve from Minecraft, who has captured everyone and keeps them in fear. Dobie, say hello.
Hi, friends. It's me, Dobie. And as Labrador said, today we'll be facing trials and protecting people from Evil Steve from Minecraft. It's not going to be an easy mission, but I'm sure we can handle it, right, Labrador?
The first challenge will be a parkour over tin blocks that look like ventilation shafts. Dobie, you ready?
Yes, Labrador. That challenge was way too easy. Let's move on to the next one.
In the second challenge, we need to press a button to make platforms appear that we have to jump across. The most important thing, don't fall.
Oh, Labrador, these challenges are too easy so far. I wonder what's coming next.
In the third challenge, we have to run away from Steve from Minecraft, but before that, we need to press a button. Otherwise, the vent won't open and Steve will catch us.
Run, Labrador! He's catching up to us!
Phew, Dobie, that was intense. Luckily, we managed to escape him, a serious opponent.
I agree, Labrador, but let's not relax. We need to keep going.
After exiting the ventilation, we need to grab a shovel and dig our way down. That's where the next challenge awaits us.
In the next challenge, we have to parkour over a huge chasm filled with boiling lava. Just don't fall in.
Whew, we made it, Dobie. Now we have to dodge a giant rolling boulder heading right at us. Just a bit more, and we cleared this level.
Labrador, oh no! Steve is back again, and he wants to catch us. If we don't turn the wheel to open the door, he's going to catch us.
This day started like any other. The city was waking up, and Dobie and I were going through the morning reports. But soon, the peace was broken by a call. The dispatcher's voice was tense. There were reports of strange events at the central hospital. Patients were disappearing. Nurses spoke of a mysterious sheriff who had taken control of the institution. And the strangest part, this sheriff looked exactly like me. Dobie and I exchanged glances. This couldn't be a coincidence. I had heard stories about doppelgangers, but I never thought I would encounter one myself. We got into the car and headed to the hospital.
When we arrived, the hospital looked deserted. The large glass doors were locked, and behind them, we could only see dim, flickering lights. No patients, no staff, as if the whole place had been abandoned. Posters with Labrador's face hung on the walls, but something was off about them. His eyes looked cold, and his smile menacing. We cautiously stepped inside. The hallways were dark, the lights flickered, and the air smelled of chemicals. Cameras were everywhere, watching our every move. We had to figure out what was going on.
We moved forward carefully, scanning our surroundings. I could feel that we were being watched. Suddenly, a nurse appeared from around the corner. He looked terrified and whispered that we had to leave while we still could. According to him, the other sheriff had locked all the patients and staff in the basement and had taken over the main office. This was a challenge we couldn't ignore. We headed for the staircase leading down, but as soon as we opened the door, the sound of footsteps filled the corridor. Several guards in black uniforms with patches bearing my own emblem emerged from the shadows. They didn't look friendly.
We knew there would be no talking our way out of this. The guards lunged at us, but we were ready. Labrador threw his baton at one of them, while I used my strength to shove another straight into the wall. The rest hesitated, giving us the chance to break through to the basement. We rushed down the narrow stairs. The air grew heavier. It smelled of age and metal. Rusty pipes lined the walls. Water dripped from the ceiling. Soon, we reached a locked door. Behind it, we heard muffled voices. People were inside.
The door was secured with a massive lock. I glanced around and spotted a toolbox. Grabbing a crowbar, I swung hard at the lock. It gave way with a screech. The door burst open, revealing dozens of frightened but unharmed patients and doctors. They ran toward us, begging to be saved from the false sheriff. I told them to stay put until we dealt with the main threat. We had to find my double.
We climbed to the top floor, where the main office was located. The door was slightly ajar, and we stepped inside. There, in the center of the spacious office, stood my partner's evil twin. He looked exactly like Labrador, except for his eyes. They were dark, lifeless, like empty voids. A strange badge hung from his chest, glowing with a faint red light. He looked at us and smiled. We realized this wasn't just an imposter. This was something inhuman. He didn't speak, but his gaze made it clear he wouldn't let us leave so easily.
He attacked. I barely managed to dodge as his paw slammed into the desk, leaving a deep dent. This me was stronger than any ordinary beast. Dobie tried to sneak up behind him, but with a single motion, the doppelganger flung him aside. I had to find a way to stop him. I noticed that the badge on his chest glowed brighter whenever he attacked. Maybe that was the source of his power.
I understood what Labrador was thinking. We had to remove that badge. I lunged forward, pretending to go for his face, while Labrador leaped from above, grabbed the badge, and yanked it with all his strength. A dull crack echoed through the room. The false sheriff froze. Then his body began to tremble. Awareness flickered in his eyes before he simply dissolved into the air, leaving behind only the metallic badge, now dull and lifeless.
As soon as he vanished, the hospital began to change. The lights brightened, the cameras stopped tracking us, and the eerie silence was replaced by the sounds of voices. We knew the spell or technology that kept people in fear had been broken. Doctors and patients emerged from the basement, cautiously looking around. They were free. We knew it was over.
Once everything calmed down, we stepped outside. The sky was already lightening. Night was over. I looked at Labrador and smirked. We had seen a lot, but nothing like this before. But before we could get into the car, a new call came in. The dispatcher reported strange occurrences happening in the city again. We exchanged glances and started the engine.
Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Our battle will be legendary. The corridor trembled with each impact. Every door concealed the unknown, and we had no idea where the next attack would come from. The lights flickered, strange noises echoed from the ventilation shafts, and the scent of antiseptic mixed with something far more sinister. I could feel it. My doppelganger was toying with us, luring us into a trap. We reached the operating room. The massive metal doors slid open slowly, revealing a chamber filled with surgical instruments hanging from the ceiling and tables draped in dusty sheets. And in the center of it all, he stood, my dark reflection, wearing a twisted grin and staring with cold, empty eyes. He didn't attack immediately. He was waiting, savoring our hesitation. That's when I realized this wasn't just a copy. He could read my thoughts, anticipate my every move. This was me, stripped of conscience, devoid of principles, without mercy.
I saw Labrador freeze for a moment, assessing the situation. The double looked just like him, but something was deeply wrong. He moved like a shadow, his presence felt unnatural, and when he spoke, his voice seemed to pierce through the air itself. And then he struck. His movements were lightning fast, his attacks precise. I tried to intervene, but he dodged effortlessly, predicting my every action. It felt like a nightmare, the kind where your enemy is always faster, always ahead. We tried every technique we knew, but he countered them with ease, as if he had already seen the battle play out in his mind. The only way to win was to outsmart him, to make him believe in a false move.
The corridor trembled with each impact. Every door concealed the unknown, and we had no idea where the next attack would come from. The lights flickered, strange noises echoed from the ventilation shafts, and the scent of antiseptic mixed with something far more sinister. I could feel it. My doppelganger was toying with us, luring us into a trap. We reached...
I saw Labrador freeze for a moment, assessing the situation. The double looked just like him, but something was deeply wrong. He moved like a shadow, his presence felt unnatural, and when he spoke, his voice seemed to pierce through the air itself. And then he struck. His movements were lightning fast, his attacks precise. I tried to intervene, but he dodged effortlessly, predicting my
Friends, Peppa Pig has turned evil and wants to make me just like her. Watch the video until the end to save me. Hello, friends. Today we find ourselves in the most unusual place, the house of Peppa Pig, which has turned into a prison. It's a real nightmare. Peppa and her family have become very mean, and now we have to escape from here.
Yes, Labrador. Hello, everyone. We entered the house and everything looks creepy. Peppa was always a sweet pig, but something has changed her. Now she and her family run this prison. We need to figure out what happened and get out of here.
Peppa used to be just a playful pig, but it seems something has really angered her. Maybe it's because she's tired of the constant attention and noise around her family. Her world has become dark, and now she's trying to trap everyone who enters her house.
I think her anger might be related to feeling lonely and misunderstood. Her house is now full of traps and dangers. We need to be very careful not to fall into one of them.
Our journey will not be easy, but we will definitely make it. The main thing is to stick together and not lose hope. We will find a way to escape and bring Peppa back to her kind self. Guys, have you watched cartoons with Peppa Pig? I watched, and I remember that she was always a very kind pig, but look at what she has become.
With each new room, it gets scarier. Peppa's house is full of secrets and dangers, but we are not giving up. We will definitely find a way out and uncover the mystery of why Peppa and her family have become so mean.
Don't forget, friends, that together we can overcome any difficulties. We will go through all the obstacles and find our way to freedom. Stay with us. This will be an exciting adventure.
Stay close, and we will definitely escape this prison. Our mission is to set everything right and make Peppa's house bright and cheerful again. Onward to adventure.
Perhaps something important awaits us at the end of this journey. Maybe we can find a way to reconcile Peppa with her feelings. But for now, we need to focus on each step, on each challenge. Every success brings us closer to our goal. Do you see how creepy it is here? Guys, like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And with each step, we become stronger. This adventure teaches us that even in the darkest places, light can be found. We will learn to handle any difficulties and always keep moving forward.
Dobie, we've been through a lot, but this challenge is special. We are not just fighting for our freedom, but also for Peppa's freedom. This makes our adventure even more meaningful. This Roblox map reminds me of something. I have a feeling we'll be fighting a Peppa Pig boss at the end, so watch until the end.
We will definitely get out and help Peppa. It's our duty as sheriffs and friends. We will overcome all obstacles and bring peace back to Peppa's house. I can't believe this used to be her home. I watched the cartoons and visited Peppa's house before, and it was completely different. Honestly, I'm very scared, Labrador. I hope the viewers aren't as scared as I am.
A few months ago, Dobie and I decided to visit our friends in the neighboring town. Peppa Pig had invited us to a party in honor of her younger brother George's birthday. We arrived early in the morning and were happy to see the town preparing for the celebration. Bright garlands were hung everywhere, and cheerful music was playing.
At Peppa's house, it was very fun and cozy. The party was in full swing. Children were laughing and playing, and adults were discussing news and enjoying treats. Everything was going great, and no one suspected that unfriendly eyes were watching Peppa's house. Labrador and I didn't notice the suspicious types right away, but our keen sense soon led us to an unpleasant suspicion.
While the guests were having fun in the garden, Dobie and I decided to look around and check if everything was okay. We noticed strange tracks behind the house and realized that someone was planning something bad. A few minutes later, we saw two strangers sneaking towards Peppa's house with the intention of robbing it. They clearly didn't expect to meet us there.
Labrador and I acted quickly and efficiently. While I circled the house from one side, Labrador took up a position on the other. We knew we had to prevent the robbery and protect Peppa and her family. At that moment, the robbers were already trying to break in through the back door, unaware that they were being watched.
When the uninvited guests realized that their plan had been uncovered, they tried to escape. However, we didn't give them that chance. Dobie tackled one of the robbers and pinned him to the ground while I quickly caught up with the second one. Thanks to our quick reaction and coordinated actions, we apprehended both criminals.
Peppa's family was very grateful for our help. We handed the robbers over to the local police and returned to the party. Everything happened so fast that most of the guests didn't even realize what had occurred. The party continued, and everyone was glad that it ended well.
That day showed us how important it is to always be on alert, even in a festive atmosphere. Dobie and I did everything possible to protect our friends and prevent the criminals from ruining the party. We are glad we could help, and once again confirmed that together we are an unbeatable team.
At the end of the day, when we were heading home, we discussed how important it is to always be ready for the unexpected. We are glad that our visit to Peppa ended so well and that we could prevent the robbery. It was another reminder that sheriffs are always on guard, and no matter what happens, we will always come to the rescue. And they also gave us a huge cake.
Not long ago, there was an incident. Could this be why Peppa became angry? Peppa Pig went missing. The whole town was in panic because Peppa is one of the most beloved residents. The locals immediately started spreading the word that she had disappeared without a trace. Dobie and I, of course, couldn't ignore this. We decided we had to help find her. When we arrived in Peppa's town, her family and friends greeted us, and everyone was very worried. Peppa had never left without notice, and leaving her little brother George behind was simply impossible. Everything seemed very strange.
We started by thoroughly examining the house. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual. The doors were locked and the windows were intact. But I noticed a strange trail in the grass near the fence. It led into a forest located not far from Peppa's house. Labrador immediately pointed out that this could be an important clue. We decided to follow the trail. The farther we went, the more mysterious the trail became. At first it was clear, but soon it disappeared among the bushes. However, our experienced noses helped us find additional tracks that led to an old shed on the edge of the forest.
When we reached the shed, it was quiet and dark. Dobie and I couldn't understand what might be inside. I peered in and suddenly noticed something moving in the corner. It was something strange, almost like a shadow. We went inside and saw an old cage with Peppa inside. She was sitting there, crying and scared. It turned out she had been kidnapped by local troublemakers who decided to play a prank and hide her to see how everyone would react. They never expected us to be so quick on the trail.
Labrador and I quickly freed Peppa and took her back home. Peppa was shocked, but soon recovered and thanked us for rescuing her. The town was overjoyed when she returned, and all the residents gathered in the main square to congratulate us on the successful operation. The mystery was solved, and the mean troublemakers were punished. In the end, Peppa returned to her cozy life, and everyone was happy again. Labrador and I felt proud of our work, but the most important thing was that we brought Peppa home and restored peace to the town.
Once, some scammers came to our town and started handing out candy to the children. At first glance, everything seemed peaceful, and no one suspected that something dangerous might be behind it. But as soon as children started disappearing, Dobie and I realized that something was wrong. Soon it became clear that the candy was a trap. The scammers were kidnapping children to force them to work in their factories, making them do whatever they were told.
Yes, the situation was very tense. We started investigating, and it turned out that the scammers used a clever device that made the children lose consciousness. After that, they would take them to unknown places, where they were forced to work in a toy factory. Of course, we couldn't allow this, and as soon as we learned what was going on, we immediately took action.
First, we had to find the criminals' hideout. We knew they were hiding somewhere on the outskirts of town, but the exact location was unknown. We followed the trail, questioned a few locals, and found out that strange things were happening near an abandoned warehouse. When we arrived there, we saw that the children were indeed being kept in dark basements, forced to work on dangerous machines.
Labrador and I acted right away. We used our special team, sheriff detectives, to infiltrate the warehouse and neutralize the scammers. We didn't know how many of them were there and weren't sure if we could make it in time, but fortunately, we were prepared. We hid in the shadows and crept up to the main entrance. As soon as we saw the children working under the supervision of two scammers, we decided to act.
One of them even tried to notice us, but I quickly jumped out from behind the corner and detained him. Dobie immediately slapped on the handcuffs. The second scammer tried to run away, but I blocked all the exits, and he couldn't escape. We freed the children, and they immediately ran to the exit. We quickly notified all the parents, and they came to take their children home.
Labrador and I acted right away. We used our special team, sheriff detectives, to infiltrate the warehouse and neutralize the scammers. We didn't know how many of them were there and weren't sure if we could make it in time, but fortunately, we were prepared. We hid in the shadows and crept up to the main entrance. As soon as we saw the children working under the supervision of two scammers, we decided to act.
We've defeated the evil boss Peppa. Now she should start feeling better because this costume had infected her. We'll definitely visit Peppa soon, but for now, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're off to the next Roblox modes. This living toy wants to catch us. Watch the video until the end to save us. Oh no! Hello, friends! Today, Dobie and I found ourselves in an exciting new Roblox game called Escape the Epic School, Obby. This school looks simply amazing. Bright walls, beautiful classrooms, and hallways. But as soon as we started moving through the school, we realized that something was wrong.
Hello, everyone! Yes, Labrador, you're right. In this school, all the teachers are animated toys. They've gone haywire and have become real threats. The head teacher is a huge head with a police hat and long arms and legs. He looks terrifying, and just seeing him gives you the chills. But that's not the only danger.
The school is indeed impressive with its beauty. Every classroom and hallway shows attention to detail. At first glance, it seems like the perfect place for learning. But we quickly understood that behind this beauty lies something sinister. The toy teachers, who were supposed to entertain children, now pose a serious threat.
One teacher that stood out was a toy pizza. When we first saw him, he seemed quite funny. But as soon as we got closer, he came to life and started chasing us. We quickly realized he was no joke, but thanks to our experience and teamwork, we managed to escape the danger.
All these teachers were once part of the educational process, but something went wrong, and they became the school's guards. We found out they were created to help children learn, but a system failure caused them to act aggressively. This is especially true for the head teacher, a huge head with long limbs. His appearance is truly frightening.
As we progress through the school, we notice how everything is meticulously detailed. The chemistry classroom has real laboratories, the gym has exercise equipment and basketball hoops. But none of this is for us. We need to find an exit and avoid these animated teachers.
With each passing minute, we become more convinced that this school is not an ordinary place. Everything here is designed to keep us inside. We constantly feel the eyes of these toys on us. They watch our every move, and it makes us uneasy.
Despite all these difficulties, we remain optimistic. We know that together we can overcome any obstacles. We've found ourselves in similar situations before and always found a way out. This time, we are not going to give up either.
Thank you for being with us, friends. Your support means a lot to us. We will keep you updated on all our adventures and hope that together we can escape from this epic school.
Stay with us because there's much more excitement ahead. We are confident that we can overcome all challenges and find a way out of this mysterious school. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and you can leave any comment, and we will respond to it.
We have a story about a school. When Dobie and I received an urgent call to the school, I had no idea what awaited us. Usually such calls are related to minor incidents, but not this time. We were informed that the teachers had started acting strangely. They were destroying classrooms, tearing up textbooks, and causing complete chaos. It was unimaginable. Dobie and I immediately realized that this was serious and we needed to act quickly. When we arrived at the scene, the students were already trying to calm their teachers, but it was clear that they had completely lost control.
I had never seen anything like it. Imagine a school where instead of the usual learning process, there is complete chaos. Teachers, who were always examples of order and discipline, suddenly became totally unpredictable. They were breaking desks, scattering teaching materials, and seemed to be in some sort of trance. The students, on the other hand, were trying to calm them down, which was surprising. I saw how the older students took on the role of adults, trying to organize and protect the younger ones. Labrador and I immediately started figuring out what could have caused such behavior in the teachers.
We quickly discovered that everything started when a new history teacher appeared at the school. It was said that he brought with him some ancient artifacts that he used for his lessons. One of these artifacts was a strange box with intricate patterns that he showed to the class. It was right after this that all the problems began. The teachers who saw this box immediately started acting aggressively. We decided we needed to find this box and understand what it was. But where to look in such chaos?
We started our search in the history classroom, but it was a complete mess. All the shelves were overturned, books scattered everywhere. Labrador and I decided to split up to find the box faster. I went to the old cabinets while Labrador checked the desks and drawers. We found a map.
We realized that the map was somehow related to the teacher's hypnosis. We needed to quickly find a way to lift this effect. We approached the school principal, who fortunately had not yet been hypnotized. He told us that he had heard legends about such artifacts, and that the only way to remove their influence was to find the key to these symbols.
Labrador and I set out to find the teacher. The trail led us to an old building on the outskirts of town where he was temporarily living. We entered his room and found numerous books and documents related to magic and hypnosis. Among them, we found a diary where he detailed his experiments with the box and the map. It turned out that he had accidentally activated a spell that caused this chaos. The diary also mentioned that to lift the spell, a ritual needed to be performed in the schoolyard using the map and certain words.
We returned to the school with the map and began preparing for the ritual. The students, despite the chaos, helped us as best they could. We explained to them what needed to be done, and together we started the ritual. Dobie lit the candles while I held the map and read the words from the ancient symbols. Suddenly, everything around us was illuminated by a bright light, and the teachers began to come to their senses. It was an incredible sight. The spell was lifted, and the school gradually returned to normal. The teachers became themselves again, and the students showed that they could handle the most difficult situations. You know, guys, there's another story where you'll recognize your school. Usually in schools there are fights or small pranks, but this time the situation was much more serious. The students decided to play a prank and locked all the doors so no one could get out. They stuffed the toilets with shirts and turned on the water, causing a massive flood. Imagine a school turned into a huge aquarium, with water flooding the halls and classrooms. Dobie and I had to act fast to save the school from destruction.
When we arrived, we were met with an incredible sight. Water was flowing out from under the doors, and inside the school, there was total chaos. Students were in panic, some trying to escape by climbing onto desks and tables. The water kept rising, and the situation was becoming more and more dangerous. We knew we had to act quickly, or the school could suffer even more damage. The first thing we did was contact our elephant friends, who could help us absorb all the water.
While we waited for the elephants to arrive, Dobie and I began evacuating the students. We helped the children get out of the classrooms and directed them to the exits. Some doors were blocked by water, and we had to use our strength to break through the flood. Despite their fear, the students tried to help each other. Dobie and I coordinated their actions to avoid panic and injuries. Meanwhile, the water kept rising, and the situation was getting more critical.
When the elephants arrived, we immediately sprang into action. Thanks to their powerful trunks, the elephants began absorbing the water like giant sponges. It was an impressive sight. They worked quickly and in sync, helping us save the school. The water level gradually started to drop, and the panic among the students eased. The elephants did an incredible job, and thanks to them, the situation was brought under control. Labrador and I continued to oversee the evacuation, helping those who were still inside.
Gradually, thanks to the elephants' efforts, the water level began to fall, and we were able to assess the damage. Many classrooms were flooded, furniture was ruined, and educational materials were lost. However, the most important thing was that no one was hurt. The students and teachers were safe, and that was our main goal. We thanked our elephant friends for their help, as we wouldn't have been able to manage without them. Now we had to deal with the aftermath and figure out who exactly was behind the prank.
We started the investigation, interviewing students and teachers. It turned out that a few high school students decided to play this prank and didn't think about the consequences. They realized what they had done and were genuinely remorseful. We had a disciplinary talk with them, explaining how dangerous such pranks could be. It was important not only to punish the guilty, but also to teach them responsibility for their actions.
In the end, the school returned to normal life. We helped organize repairs and restore the damaged property. The students and teachers learned how important it is to be cautious and think about the consequences of their actions. Dobie and I were glad everything ended well and that we managed to prevent a catastrophe in time. This story became a lesson for everyone, showing that even the most innocent-looking pranks can lead to serious consequences.
And that's how this unusual story ended. Once again, we were reminded how important it is to be attentive and responsible, and our elephant friends showed that they are always ready to help in tough times. It's important to remember that together we can tackle any problem, and true strength lies in unity and mutual support.
And don't forget, despite all these challenges, we still find moments for laughter and joy. The Epic School is just one of the many adventures we're experiencing thanks to you. Your likes and comments are what motivate us to keep going and overcome all difficulties.
Absolutely! So don't worry, we'll be back here to finish this adventure and defeat the main teacher. We'll continue searching for a way out. And of course, we'll make sure to tell you how we managed to do it.
Hello, friends. This is Sheriff Labrador and my faithful partner, Sheriff Dobie.
Hi, guys. Today we have something special for you. We are diving into the world of Roblox and playing the Escape Funnies Toy Shop mode.
In this mode, our main task is to escape from the creepy toy store, but it will be harder than it seems.
We'll have to hide and run from the terrifying toy that wants to trap us in its world.
Friends, hold on tight because it's going to be both fun and scary.
In this mode, we have 6 tough challenges, each testing our skills to the limit. We might even face the main toy boss at the end. It sounds frightening and exciting, but we can handle it because we are a team. We just turned on the lights to see better, and now we are heading into the ominous tunnel to find the exit.
This tunnel looks really spooky. I hope we don't encounter many traps.
The main thing is to be careful and stick together. Friends, keep your fingers crossed for us. A real challenge lies ahead.
What are these tracks? Some monster sneaked into the ventilation and left its tracks here. Maybe we could crawl through there and find the exit right away. But the vent is closed. We'll have to go through this creepy tunnel with broken pipes. Dobie, are you afraid to jump through this hot air?
No, I'm not afraid. Do you think I'm a coward? We've gone through many scary modes together. I'm almost used to them. By the way, it's better not to look down right now. Wait, do you hear that? Or is it just me?
I don't hear anything. We've encountered a real challenge. A scary maze, guys. This maze is not only complicated, but also full of dangers. A huge, terrifying toy will chase us if we don't find the exit in time. It will turn us into its toys.
This challenge will require our maximum mental and physical strength. The maze is huge, and we must be very careful to find the exit as quickly as possible. But don't worry, Labrador and I will guide you. And remember, friends,
This is just the first challenge in this mode. Ahead of us are many difficulties and puzzles. We must be ready for anything and never give up.
hey, Labrador, this parkour is really tough. It seems we are facing the hardest challenges in this mode.
Indeed, Dobie, but this is just the beginning. We have a lot more ahead of us. By the way, do you remember what our friends said about the next challenge?
Oh, yes. They mentioned something about red and green colors. They said it's one of the most interesting challenges here. We need to be ready for anything.
I remember they said these colors are related to choosing a path or solving puzzles. We need to be alert and use our brains.
Exactly, Labrador. Let's leave the parkour behind and get ready for the next challenge. Remember, teamwork and attentiveness are our best allies here.
Absolutely, Dobie. Let's move forward. New challenges await us, and we must prove that sheriffs are not easily broken. Green light. Run, Labrador. Oh, wait, red light. Stop and don't move. Green light. Run, Dobie. Run. Just a bit more. You can do it. Oh no, stop, red light. No way out, or as they say. Or as...
Labrador, I almost lost because of you. Is something wrong with your reactions? The green light was on, and you only mentioned the red. Do you not know the difference between green and red?
Ha ha. Sorry, Dobie. I got a bit confused. Next time I'll pay more attention to the signals. Don't worry. I'll react faster in the next challenge.
We've passed the second challenge of this strange living toy, and now we just need to climb up and start the third challenge. Honestly, I thought it would be easier. This is the hardest challenge for us.
You're right. I hope you guys are subscribing to our channel and liking our efforts. These challenges are really tough, but the third challenge will be 100 times harder. I doubt our friend told the truth.
Hey, Labrador, look what's ahead. Our task is to climb this tower of toy blocks before this Titan toy robot catches and crushes us. Okay, Labrador, let's look at our options. These columns of blocks can be our cover. We can run between them to avoid the robot's grasp.
Great idea, Dobie. We can also use these toy blocks to slow down its movement. Throw them at its feet to create obstacles and gain valuable seconds.
Right, Labrador. And don't forget about teamwork. Coordinate our actions. One of us distracts the robot while the other circles the edge of the tower. This way, we can split its attention and gain more time.
Exactly, Dobie. Let's get to it. Let's show this robot who the real sheriffs are. Stick to the plan, and we'll definitely succeed.
Only 6 seconds left. I'm sure we can survive. If not, Labrador, you were the best friend I've ever had. Hooray! We managed to outsmart the Titan robot. Honestly, it was pretty dumb. Just a clumsy piece of metal destroying everything in its path.
I think we shouldn't have opened this door. It's really creepy here. It looks like the place where we need to find an exit and escape from the main character of this mode. Wish us luck, subscribers.
Hey, Labrador, look who's chasing us now. It's a living toy, and it's after us through this abandoned toy warehouse. We need to keep moving and not let it catch us, or we'll be its next victims.
Wow, Dobie, this is really terrifying. Let's use our knowledge and experience to get out of this situation. We must find a way to dodge it.
I see a machine ahead. Could it be an escape route? No, it doesn't look like it. There's lava down there. How is there lava in a toy store? Some monster must have created it while we were driving.
I wanted to tell you something yesterday. We received a call from the toy store owner. He said toys started disappearing, and all the surveillance cameras were turned off. This prompted Dobie and me to immediately head to the scene.
Yes, Labrador is right. When we arrived, the store seemed empty and abandoned, with toys and plush animals scattered everywhere.
We started the investigation and found Mr. and Mrs. Squirrel hiding in the far corner of the store. It turned out they were taking the toys, thinking they were for their children.
When we asked them why they didn't use the surveillance cameras, they said they didn't know how to turn them on and were just trying to do something nice for their kids.
In the end, we cleared things up and suggested they visit the store during business hours to buy toys. They apologized for the inconvenience and promised not to take anything without permission again.
So friends, sometimes mysterious disappearances aren't about dark forces. Sometimes it's just parents trying to make their kids' lives brighter.
It seems we've been through a lot, but now the fourth challenge awaits us, which turns out to be a real test.
Yes, Labrador, this challenge is like games such as Mario. We need to run and jump, avoiding traps and collecting everything that can help us stop the giant head of this living toy that is trying to catch and eat us.
Now Dobie and I found ourselves in a world reminiscent of classic Mario in 2D. We started on a platform surrounded by green pipes and brick blocks. But the real excitement was ahead. We were being chased by a giant toy head. We had to jump and collect bombs to slow it down.
Exactly, Labrador. These platform jumps are quite the challenge. It feels like being a puppy again, trying to reach high shelves. And those bombs are a real treasure. Throw one, and the head slows down, giving us a chance to run further. Great job, Labrador. We're almost at the finish, friends. And who would have thought that simply escaping from a toy head could be so exciting?
Here we are in the ventilation system, friends, or almost there. We've already made it halfway, and honestly, I'm a little worried. These pipes look like they haven't been cleaned in ages. And the air here, it's not the freshest. But we can't stop now. We need to keep going to get out of this toy store. Who would have thought that toys could be so dangerous?
You're right, Labrador. And these rusty pipes? It smells like an old basement, but it seems like we're no strangers to tough tasks. These old abandoned toys scattered through the sewers are staring at us with their empty eyes. They're definitely not happy to see us, so we need to be careful and stay alert.
We made it through that sewer, and I have no idea how we managed to escape. The toys tried to grab us. Oh, Dobie, look, it's game number 5.
It kind of reminds me of some game, or maybe it's just me. What do you think, guys? Let us know in the comments.
What a challenge. Dobie and I are back in the toy store, and now we have to jump on platforms that are about to start falling. As soon as they turn red, we need to get off, or we're in trouble. Honestly, I'm a bit nervous because these platforms are so slippery that you barely have time to react.
Yeah, Labrador, these platforms are a real headache. You barely land on one before it starts glowing red. It feels like a game of cat and mouse. You almost made it, but it's about to disappear beneath your feet. Of course, we're sheriffs, but here we really need to be extra careful. I even joked a few times that if I fall, I'll land on a soft toy. Whew, we barely made it through this level. What's next? Is this the end?
This toy train looks extremely suspicious. I doubt the exit is here, but we have no other choice. Settle in, Dobie. We're in for a long ride.
Let's go, Sheriff Labrador. I hope we don't encounter any screamers along the way and everything goes smoothly. Oh no, it was a trap.
What do we do now? We're falling straight down. We're going to crash, Sheriff Labrador.
Are you here? I see the final arena.
Yes, I'm here. It looks like this is the final challenge. Oh, wait. It's that same living toy in a robo-suit. How do we deal with it, guys? We're facing the main boss, a toy robot threatening us with lasers and a giant metal structure.
Yes, Labrador. This robot means business. It's firing all its weapons and trying to crush us with its huge feet.
But we won't give up. To defeat this boss, we need to aim for its weak spot, the legs. We have rocket launchers, and we need to hit them directly.
Let's act quickly and in sync. Labrador, you take the rocket launcher on the right. I'll take the left. Let's focus fire on its legs while we have the chance. Watch how it opens the vents on its legs.
Now's our chance to attack. Launch the rockets.
Great shot, Labrador. We damaged its leg. Just a bit more and we'll have it.
The boss is getting more aggressive. Watch out. Dodge the lasers and keep attacking its legs.
Another rocket hit the mark. The leg is starting to smoke. We're almost there.
We're on the home stretch. We'll defeat this evil robot. Hooray! We managed to destroy it. They didn't call me Diamond Eye at the Sheriff Academy for nothing. I'm a really good shot. Now we just need to find the way out of here, guys.
You're all the best. You helped us defeat this toy robot. I hope we really won and this isn't another trap.
Guys, please watch till the end so this evil grandma doesn't catch us. Hello, everyone. This is Sheriff Labrador.
Guess who we're running from today?
Yes, I'm not alone. Dobie is with me. We're trapped in the house of an evil grandmother, and our goal is to escape. We need to be quiet so we don't wake her up, but it won't be easy.
You think she's just an old granny? But that's not the case. You should see what she's done to this house. Grandma has set up real challenges in her home.
She hated her grandchildren and decided to feed them cookies until they popped like balloons. But we managed to save them, and today we will stop her evil.
Let's start the escape. Oh, look, it's a photo of that old man we already ran away from. Looks like they're married.
Oh no, I hope she doesn't wake up. I remember how we escaped from that old man. Be sure to watch it on our WOW channel.
Looks like this valve leads to the attic. I hope Grandma doesn't catch us here. Oh, she even set up mines. Why do you think this old woman locked us in a cage?
She probably loves cats. There are pictures of them hanging around, though all grandmas love cats. Maybe she wanted to make soup out of us.
Look, we're high up, and there are spikes below us.
I hope we don't fall right into Grandma's mouth when we get out of the vent.
Me too. It would be tragic if she ate us right away.
There's a lot of dust in the vent. It's annoying me.
Oh, look, Grandma is right in front of us. I hope she doesn't wake up.
Let's jump on her stomach. Oh, unexpectedly, she didn't notice us.
Look, teeth in a jar. Ew, that's disgusting.
We need to hurry before she wakes up. She's running right after us.
Oh no, green snotty cookies. Better not step on them. She even farts. She might grab our tails. Look, a red button. We need to press it quickly.
This button opened a passage. Let's run there before Grandma catches us.
Look, Grandma turned red. We need to jump next to her.
Now she doesn't even pay attention to us.
There are a lot of cookies here. I was right. She loves cookies.
The evil Grandma is so clumsy she even dropped a glass of milk.
She forgot about us. She's not even trying to catch us. Oh, look, a huge fan that will lift us up. There are traps along the way, but we won't give up.
We'll easily overcome them. I completely agree with you, Dobie. There are no obstacles we can't overcome.
Oh, we almost fell back. We need to be more careful.
Hooray, we overcame the traps.
Don't celebrate too early. Let's see what's behind the door.
Look, we're in some kind of dungeon.
Let's jump on these geysers. I think they'll help us move forward.
Hey, Dobie, don't you think it's getting too hot in here?
Yes, it's very hot here. Let's get out of here quickly and have some ice cream.
Whew, the board broke under us. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Look, a vent. I think we should climb into it.
The vent is dusty again. I hope there are no spiders here.
I wouldn't want to see a giant spider.
Oh no, we fell into the room where Grandma knits.
I hope we don't meet her here.
I wouldn't want her to knit a scarf out of us. Listen, something's rolling. A giant ball of yarn.
We didn't make it to the safe place. I hope we'll be luckier next time.
It's convenient that there are holes in the walls here. Otherwise, we would have been crushed long ago.
I see the exit. We can tell some interesting stories because a battle with Grandma awaits us ahead.
Once, in one of the neighboring districts, strange things began happening. At first, it seemed like an ordinary event. Rumors started spreading about an old woman who had settled at the edge of the town. She looked perfectly normal. Gray hair, glasses on her nose, and a hooked nose, just like any other grandmother. But as the days went by, people started noticing odd things. She never talked to anyone, and the children who went into her house started disappearing. Parents were in a panic, but no one could figure out what was going on.
Sheriff Labrador and I decided to investigate. At first, we thought it was just rumors and overreactions. But when we peeked inside this grandmother's house, we discovered something inexplicable. In one corner, there were strange potions. In another, books on magic. And on the walls were portraits of children who clearly had stopped growing. We quickly realized that she was no ordinary grandmother. In fact, she was a witch who used her charm and disguise to lure children into traps.
We began keeping an eye on her. She hid her true nature by pretending to be a kind old lady, but as soon as children entered her house, she used spells to turn them into statues made of cotton. In this place, they became useless toys, which she could display in her shop window or use for her dark rituals. The more we investigated, the more oddities we uncovered. The grandmother witch was a master of transformations, and her powers were dangerous for the entire town.
Once we learned about her sinister plans, we had to come up with a way to stop her without putting the children at risk. We decided to sneak into her house at night when she would be sleeping. While Labrador distracted her, I found a hidden passage that led straight to her basement. There, I discovered a magical circle that was being used for the transformations. We realized that to stop her spells from working, we needed to destroy the circle and reverse everything.
While Dobie figured out how to destroy the circle, I kept the witch occupied. She didn't immediately realize that we had uncovered her. But as soon as she did, her face turned sinister. The grandmother started transforming. Her body became more twisted, and her eyes filled with bright yellow light. We knew we had to act fast, or she might regain control of the town.
Time was running out. I rushed to the magical circle and, using everything I knew about magic, managed to destroy it. As soon as the circle was destroyed, the witch screamed and tried to break free, but her power was weakened. All the transformed children returned to their normal forms, and she herself turned to ash, disappearing into the air. We were in shock at how close we had come to a disaster.
Once everything was over, we returned the children to their parents, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief. But we knew that there could be other dark forces lurking under disguises in our town. We decided to stay even more alert and prepared for such events. After all, we must always protect our citizens from such dangers.
This case was a real lesson for us. It reminded us that the world can be full of hidden and dark threats, and we must be ready for any surprises. Labrador and I promised ourselves to always stand guard and protect our town from any evil creatures that may threaten it.
Another mega cool story. It all started when a strange pizzeria appeared on the outskirts of town. At first, it seemed like just another ordinary place. But as soon as Dobie and I started patrolling the area, we immediately felt something was off. People who entered the pizzeria came out with huge smiles on their faces. But what caught our attention was that they were literally swelling up before our eyes, becoming more and more round.
Labrador and I decided to find out what was going on. Soon we discovered that this pizzeria didn't belong to ordinary people, but to cyber robots disguised as grandmothers. These robots were programmed to feed anyone who fell into their trap with a special meal. But the food they served wasn't just delicious. It started filling people's stomachs with air, making them swell up like balloons.
All this time, Dobie and I couldn't understand what kind of technology was behind these strange robots. We started observing them and soon realized that these cyber grandmothers were designed to lure townspeople into a trap. Every time someone ate their pizza, the cyber grandmothers used hidden mechanisms to fill their bellies with air, causing them to expand to enormous sizes. And strangely, no one could stop themselves. Eventually, they would just pop like balloons.
Labrador and I started planning how to stop this horrible machine. We realized that if we didn't intervene right away, the whole town could turn into one giant bubble that couldn't withstand the pressure. To stop it, we needed to break into the pizzeria and destroy the main source of this evil plot. We knew the cyber grandmothers would be guarding the place with incredible strength, but we couldn't let this threat continue.
Once we snuck inside the pizzeria, we saw the main cyber robot, the grandmother, standing at the counter, serving food to the customers. We immediately knew she had to be destroyed to end this. But as soon as we got closer, she started making strange noises, and her metal parts began moving like a real robot. That's when we realized she wasn't just serving food. She was also activating a hidden mechanism that accelerated the inflation process.
It wasn't an easy task. I noticed an old, eerie computer near the pizzeria, which seemed to control all the cyber robots. Labrador and I decided the best way to win was to destroy the system controlling them. I ran over to the computer and, with the help of an old hacker tool, managed to shut off the power. At that moment, all the robots lost control, and they could no longer serve the food that caused people to inflate.
Once we disabled the main power source of these evil robots, the whole pizzeria fell silent, and the townspeople started returning to their normal sizes. Those who were on the verge of bursting began to feel fine, and their former shapes returned. In the end, we were able to restore order to the town. The cyber grandmothers no longer posed a threat to our world. But we knew this story wasn't over, and we had to be ready for new threats that could come from the most unexpected corners.
And that's how this tough battle with the cyber grandmothers came to an end. Labrador and I knew we couldn't stop there. We kept patrolling the streets of the town, because in the world of animals, there's always room for new dangers. But this time, we managed to win. Our town was safe again, and all the residents could breathe easy, knowing we're always on guard.
We managed to get through and escape from that evil grandma. Thanks for watching till the end. But this isn't over yet. There's another mode ahead. Let's go! Guys, help us! Quickly like the video, leave a comment, and watch it until the end, or we might fall straight into the lava.
Hello, everyone. Imagine you're stuck in an abandoned pizzeria where danger lurks at every turn. The main goal is to escape this creepy place, but be careful. The terrifying chef Papa Pizza is on your trail, cooking up his horrible dishes from human parts. Yes, you heard that right. This will be a true test of your agility and wits.
Welcome to our channel, friends. It's your sheriff's Labrador and my trusty partner Dobie, back with you again. Today we have something special. We are embarking on an exciting adventure in a Roblox mode called Escape from Papa Pizza's Pizzeria. Dobie, tell everyone what challenges they'll face.
Oh yes, guys. You'll face puzzles, traps, and the need to quickly run away from this crazy chef. But don't worry, Labrador and I will be there to help you every step of the way.
Ready for an incredible adventure? Then get comfortable, gather your courage, and let's see if we can escape Papa Pizza's Pizzeria together.
Oh no, Labrador, where's the light? It seems Papa Pizza is after us. Hide, Labrador. We need to act quickly and precisely because Papa Pizza is right on our heels.
Oh, guys, he's right behind us. Do you see those scary eyes and that creepy apron? Papa Pizza is cooking his horrible dishes and wants to add us to the menu. We need to find a way out urgently.
Exactly, Labrador. Listen carefully, guys. To save ourselves, we need to find a hole in the floor and jump into it. It's our only chance to escape this crazy chef. Let's move quickly. We don't have much time.
We did it, guys. We're safe for now, but stay alert. There are always new challenges ahead in this game.
Thanks for being with us, and until the next adventure. Whew, that was scary, but we made it. Subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and leave comments about what modes you'd like to see next. And now we are...
Yes, in the stinky sewers. Oh, the smell here is terrible. But we have no choice, guys. To get out of here, we need to climb through a hatch. The problem is, Papa Pizza is waiting for us up there.
Exactly, Labrador. The hatch leads directly to the bathroom, and Papa Pizza is already there, ready to catch us. But we have a plan. First, we need to find the hatch and climb up carefully. Then we'll try to outsmart him.
I see the hatch ahead. Be careful and watch your step to avoid traps. Dobie, do you think we can outsmart Papa Pizza?
Of course, Labrador. We need to be smarter and faster. Guys, as soon as we climb through the hatch, be ready to act quickly. We need to figure out how to bypass Papa Pizza and escape.
Let's try. Here's the hatch. I see it. Is everyone ready? Climb carefully and quietly. Just like that. We're almost there.
Oh no, he's here! Run, guys, faster! We need to find a way out of this bathroom and avoid Papa Pizza. Labrador, where to next?
We got through that scary web. But how did Papa Pizza turn into Papa Spider? Oh no, we stepped on a spike. We'll have to start over.
Now we're navigating through a spiked trap. We have to be very careful not to get caught in them.
Yes, Dobie, this is definitely not a place you want to get stuck. Watch your step, guys, and stay away from those menacing spikes. We can handle this together. Stay close.
After this trap, another challenge awaits us. We'll have to do parkour over old pipes that could collapse at any moment. Be careful, guys, and help each other out.
Once this was an excellent establishment where all the animals of the city came for the best pizza. But something happened, and now Papa Pizza has closed his pizzeria and become incredibly evil. They say his secret recipe was stolen, and since then, he lost all interest in cooking. We're here to find out what happened and try to escape this creepy place.
Yes, Labrador, you're right. This place is filled with an atmosphere of eerie abandonment. Papa Pizza was famous for his recipes, but after the theft, he completely changed. Now the pizzeria is not a place of joy, but a labyrinth full of dangers. We must be careful. We just passed by the kitchen, and there was a huge pile of dough, as if Papa Pizza was trying to recreate his recipes, but failed. He couldn't make that magical pizza anymore.
We've seen how the pizzas turned into real traps. Remember that giant pizza that fell from the ceiling right in front of us? That's definitely not the pizza we're used to seeing. Papa Pizza has set up many traps here to make sure no one can escape. At one point, it seemed to me that he was wandering these corridors himself, guarding his lost empire.
Yes, this pizzeria has turned into a real nightmare. We went through the kitchen and there were pizzas with teeth. Something incredible. And those pizza boxes that open and try to grab you certainly don't add any confidence. Papa Pizza clearly doesn't want anyone to get out of here alive. His malice has soaked every corner of this place.
Now we've reached the main hall and everything is turned upside down. Broken tables and chairs, scattered ingredients, everything indicates that a real chaos happened here. Papa Pizza, losing his secret recipe, transformed from a kind chef into a real monster. We have only one option left. Find a way out of this madness and try to restore the pizzeria's former glory.
I agree, Labrador. We've overcome many challenges, but the most important one is ahead. Papa Pizza may be evil, but we've proven time and again that we can handle any difficulties. Let's keep moving to escape this place and perhaps help Papa Pizza find his former self.
Friends, I want to share a very secret story with you. It all started when we received several strange reports from the residents. They claimed they had seen a living pizza that moved on its own and seemed to have its own plans. At first, we thought it was a joke, but when the number of reports increased, it became clear that something unusual was going on. Dobie and I decided to check out these reports and went to the location where the most calls were coming from.
When we arrived at the scene, we were greeted by frightened residents pointing to Papa Pizza's pizzeria. It looked normal, but something was off. We cautiously entered and immediately noticed unusual tomato sauce marks on the floor. We followed these marks and ended up in a storeroom where we were in for a real surprise. There was a huge living pizza moving around and making strange noises. We realized it wasn't just alive, but also aggressive.
It turned out that this living pizza was the result of an experiment gone wrong by Papa Pizza. He had wanted to create the most delicious and unique pizza in the world by adding rare ingredients and a special magical seasoning to his recipe. But something went wrong, and the pizza gained its own consciousness and the ability to move. Moreover, it decided that it could become the ruler of the city and take control. Dobie and I realized we needed to act quickly to stop it.
We began to devise a plan to neutralize the living pizza. It was important not only to stop it, but also to ensure that something like this wouldn't happen again. We remembered that the magical seasoning could be neutralized by adding certain ingredients to the pizza. In search of these ingredients, we turned to our friends in the city, and soon we had everything we needed. The hardest part was getting close to the pizza to add the ingredients, but our teamwork and determination helped us succeed.
After several attempts, we managed to neutralize the living pizza. It lost its movement and became just an ordinary pizza. We returned it to Papa Pizza and explained what had happened. He was shocked and promised not to use magical ingredients again. The city regained its peace, and all the residents were grateful for our rescue.
This story was an important lesson for us about how experiments can be dangerous if you don't know when to stop. We realized that our job is not just to protect the city from external threats, but also to prevent internal problems. From now on, we will always be more careful with any unusual events so that such incidents won't happen again.
We finally made it out of that pizzeria. These challenges were pure hell. Pizzas with trap flavors, trampolines throwing us into endless nightmares. But now, even more adventures await us. The forest. And it seems Papa Pizza hasn't forgotten about us. He's still on our tail. We need to find a way out through these dark trees, or we'll end up in his clutches forever.
This forest is really creepy, Labrador. It's as dark as a basement, and I can hear something rustling in the bushes. We've survived the pizzeria traps, but this will be even harder. The key is finding those trash bins with fences. I'm sure that's our only chance to escape. We need to climb, jump, and then we'll be able to get away from Papa Pizza.
Do you hear that? It's him. Papa Pizza won't back down. He's chasing us, and we need to move fast. Those trash bins with fences are our way out. But no matter how hard we try, this forest feels endless. We'll have to jump and hope that the next trash bin is the one that will lead us out.
No shadow or sound will stop us, Labrador. We've already gone through the horrors of the pizzeria, so this forest is just another obstacle on the road to freedom. The key is not to lose our heads. We're almost there. Let's jump over the fence and break free from this forest like real sheriffs.
Here it is, the spot. We're at the last trash bin. This is our chance, Dobie. We need to jump straight into the darkness, but I believe there's an exit there. Let's go.
We did it, Labrador. Just a few more steps, and we're safe. Papa Pizza didn't catch us, which means we're free again. See you soon, friends.
Here we are, friends. The pizzeria is behind us, and the forest too. We've gone through all these trials, and despite Papa Pizza trying to catch us, we broke free. I hope you enjoyed our adventure and didn't forget about us while we were running away from that giant pizza.